This video will go over the free response question number 2 from 2018. So in this free response, you are given a class called word pair. Word pair constructs a word pair object by taking two strings. It also provides you accessor methods to get the first word of the word pair and to get the second pair of the word pair. You will implement a constructor in another method for another class called word pair list. So the first thing to notice here is they give you a reference, a piece of instance data for an array list called all pairs. The thing to notice here that's important is that they did not instantiate the array list. They just told you what it was going to be called. In part A, you are going to implement the constructor. And in part B, you're going to be implementing a method called num matches. So I'm going to flip the page, and we should be going to page 8. Here we go. So here's the word pair class. The constructor takes an array of strings as a parameter and initializes the instance variable all pairs to an array list of word pair objects. So the thing to make note of here is if you're given 3 strings in here, you're basically going to make an array list of all the possible combinations of those 3 strings. So you would make 1, 2, 1, 3, and then 2, 3. If I'm given a longer list of items in the string array phrase, then you would make more. So you would make the more, the merrier. And then you'd go more the, and more merrier, and then finally the merrier. So that is what you should have in the all pairs array list. So let's go ahead and come up with a solution. So the first thing you want to do in here is to instantiate the all pairs array list. So it's already been, the reference has been defined already. Now we just have to instantiate the array list. So we say new array list. And inside of here, what we're going to put in here are word pair objects. So we're going to say word pairs are going to go in here. And now we're going to loop inside of a loop. So we're going to have an outer loop that I'm going to start from 0. And I'm going to go to the length of the array that you're given. I's got to be less than words.length. And I'm going to increment I. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, so let's call this a string x equal the first item in words. So the first time through it'll be words of 0. And then I'm going to make another loop that starts from I plus 1. And is going to go, j is going to be still less than words.length. So this will give me the second element in the array. And now I'm going to do a couple things here. To all pairs, I'm going to add the new word pair. So I'm going to say new word pair. And I'm going to send to this words of I. So the first time through it'll be what's stored at 0. And then words of j, what's stored at 1. And I'm going to have one more curly bracket. So the second time through, it'll take the what's stored at 0 and what's stored at 1 and make the new word pair and so on. After we pass through this, we'll take the second word and then we'll go to the third and fourth word in the array words. So that's the solution to the first one. And now let's move on to part B. Now part B wants to go through the code and find out when the two strings are the same. So we'll be using the accessor methods from the word pair and the equals methods for strings. So notice that we use the same method header. We got to return an integer. So let's make a counting variable. Let's set it equal to 0. So this is going to keep track of how many times word 1 and word 2 are matches. So now I'm gonna cycle through all the word pair elements in the array list called all pairs, and I'm using a for each loop to do that. So I'm going to make a couple strings. I'm going to call the first one X, and I'm going to say I get first using the accessor method from the word pair. Then I'm going to say let Y equal I dot get second. So this is just grabbing the two strings out of the word pair. And now I'm going to use the equals method for the string. I'm going to say if X equals Y. So that means I have a match. I'm going to increment count. So I'm going to say count plus plus. And I'm only going to do that if that's true. And then once I'm all done in the for loop, I'm going to return count. That's it. So I would ask you to please take a look at the rubric and the online solution and compare your work to this work. Thank you.